Charles IV, King of Bohemia and Holy Roman Emperor, had a long and successful reign. The empire he ruled from Prague expanded, and his subjects lived in peace and prosperity. When the emperor died, the whole empire mourned. More than 7,000 people accompanied him on his last procession. The heir to the throne of the flourishing empire was Charles's son, Wenceslas IV, whose father had prepared him for this moment all his life. But Wenceslas did not take after his father. He neglected affairs of state for more frivolous pursuits. He even failed to turn up for his own coronation as emperor, which did little to endear him to the Pope. Wenceslas the Idle did not impress the imperial nobility either. His difficulties mounted until the nobles, exasperated by the inaction of their ruler, turned for help to his half-brother, King Sigismund of Hungary. Sigismund decided on a radical solution. He kidnapped the king to force him to abdicate, then took advantage of the ensuing disorder to gain greater power for himself. He invaded Bohemia with a massive army and began pillaging the territories of the king's allies. It is here that my story begins. Before it all began, we lived a peaceful life. My father was a blacksmith, and I would one day take over his trade. Unfortunately, the town where we lived was where the king's silver was mined. And that was exactly what Sigismund was after. That, and to show what would happen to anyone who dared to oppose him. And that day I lost everything. Family, home, honor. The time has come to take it all back.
Faster! In a real fight, you'd be dead already.
Sir.
Ah, Henry. Carry on. Well, lad, have you made any progress with the investigation?
Yes, sir. I think I have at last.
So you've found someone who isn't gutted and nailed to a wall?
It wasn't easy, sir, but I believe I have. I have information about one of the bandits who did it. He's even hiding in a village nearby.
God's blood. It's true the darkest shade is beneath the candlestick. Who is he?
I only know that they call him Riki, and he's from here in Talmberg.
That's it?
You wouldn't believe how much effort it took me to find that out. But I think it's enough to go on.
What if he's dead too?
I think we'd already know if he was. These fellows are not given to subtlety.
True enough. We haven't found any more mutilated corpses. Well, get on with it then. And when you find him, come and see me. Most likely I'll be in the encampment by Merhoed.
You can rely on me, sir. Farewell.
And be careful, Henry. I know what that rabble did to you. But remember with whom you're dealing. Don't start any foolhardiness on your own. Understood?
I'll try not to, sir. Listen, I'm looking for a fellow they call Riki. Do you know him?
You mean Hinnick? He's the tanner's son, isn't he?
Any idea where I might find him?
I don't know. Try at his folks' house, but he doesn't spend much time there.
You know this Hinnick. Can you tell me something about him?
Not much, I confess. Much of the village folk avoid him like the plague.
Why is that?
Tanners have never been the most sought-after companions. And what's more, he keeps the company of all kinds of knaves. In short, he doesn't have the best reputation.
What can you tell me about the old courier?
As I say, he's as cantankerous as a hog in a thorn bush. He won't talk to anyone.
Why do they call Hinnick Riki, anyway?
He's a tanner, isn't he? If you're ever downwind of him, you'll see for yourself. Tanning isn't a trade for the weak of stomach.
True enough, but not every courier is given that name.
Well, I'd say it might have something to do with his reputation, too.
Don't tell me no one at all talks to him.
Well, he's been seen around with one of the bathhouse wenches. Adela, I believe she's called.
I heard you've been seeing Hinnick the tanner.
So what? Come to preach to me, have you? That I'm a loose woman, a sinner? That I seduce decent men, huh?
God, no, nothing like that. It's just that you're the only one in the village who sees Hinnick, so I came to ask you about him.
Aye, I've seen him often enough, but I don't know what I could tell you about him.
When did you see him last?
A few days ago. He came to me late in the evening, drunk.
That was unusual?
I never saw him drink much. He always came here sober.
So he was acting strange that evening?
He was strange. I had the feeling he was afraid of something. He kept on prattling and wasn't interested in, well, you know what. So I threw him out and I haven't seen him since.
Can you remember anything he said that evening?
Hard to say. He went on about some Jacob who died. Then he was regretting he ever got into it, but he never said what it was. And that it wasn't worth it for the money. Aye, and then he was talking about the money. That was very odd.
What did he say about the money?
Just that he had a pile of money hidden at home behind the house.
Uh-huh. What did you say to that?
What could I say? He was drunk. He kept saying I was a fine girl and other harlots wouldn't go with him even for money. And if I wanted, I could even take half the money and leave. Or he'd go with me and we could get married and such. Just poppycock.
Did you go there for a look?
No, I've no time for such things. Obviously, he made it up. Where would a layabout like that get money?
Sure, I understand. Did he tell you exactly where he hid it?
He said he buried it at his dad's small holding in the western corner.
All right, thanks. Where does the tanner live?
Welcome to my shop.
I'm looking for a fellow they call Riki. Have you ever heard tell of him?
Why wouldn't I? That's what they call my son, Hinek.
Uh-huh. You wouldn't happen to know where he is?
I don't know nothing.
Don't you know at least where he usually goes? It's quite important.
Hinek shows up at home once in a blue moon, so I don't know nothing about where he gets to. Even if I did, why would I tell every Tom, Dick, and Harry?
Do you at least know anyone he's friends with, or someone he goes to see?
As far as I know, nobody here in the village talks to him.
I heard he's seeing some bathhouse wench.
Maybe. He can't get it for free, so I suppose he's got to go to the baths.
Your son is about to get into deep shit. I'm trying to find him so I can warn him.
That's nothing new. He's always up to his ears in it.
This time his neck is on the block. He got mixed up with some very unsavory people. I have to find him.
I'm not surprised, but I still can't help you. I don't know where he is.
Watch your tongue, peasant. I am an envoy of Sir Rotzik Kobila, and I'm conducting an investigation here. So stop hedging and tell me where your son is, right now.
Sir Radzig's envoy. Sorry, try that on someone else.
I'd like to talk to you about your Hinek.
I'm very busy, so make it quick.
What can you tell me about the money I found hidden behind your house?
Money? What money? What on earth are you on about?
24 groschen. Nicely stashed away for a rainy day. If I'd known tanning was so lucrative, I'd have switched trades.
I don't know nothing about it.
And I suppose you know nothing about the bloodied gambeson your son hid there too. Of course it would be a shame to throw away such a valuable thing.
Behind my house, you say?
So you know nothing about it? Looks like he pulled the wool over your eyes nicely. Still, I'm not surprised he never told you about it, considering how he came by that money.
How did he come by it?
He was paid to raid the Neuhof stud farm. He and his cronies slaughtered horses, stable boys, and even the owner Smill.
Jesus Christ, I've heard about that. You're saying Hinek was with them?
Almost certainly.
He could have at least told me about the money, the little shit.
Forget about that. Tell me where he is.
All right. He was here a few days ago, but he left right away. He looked like he was in a hurry.
And you don't know where he went?
I've got an idea, but I don't know where it is exactly.
I don't follow you.
Hinek makes some money on the side from poaching. He boasted to me a few times about what a great hideout he found in the woods, but he never told me where it is.
All right. It's not much to go on, but it's better than nothing. Don't you have any clue where his hideout might be?
I really don't know nothing about that. I could tell when he'd come from there is all.
How's that?
'Cause every time he brought some hides for tanning and money.
He had money because he sold the stuff right away?
I suppose he never kept any of his loot here.
Do you know who he sold it to?
Well, I don't really know. But the innkeeper came here now and again and gave him money. Of course, it could have been for meat.
All right. I'll ask at the inn then.
Welcome to my shop.
I want to ask about the courier's son, Hinek.
Then ask someone else. I have nothing to do with Riki. He'd only drive my customers away.
I heard a different story, though, that the two of you were doing business together.
Who are you, anyway?
A friend of Hinek's. He's gone missing and I need to find him.
I don't know where he is, but if you find him, tell him he still owes me some goods.
About the goods Riki owes you?
What about it?
Well, supposing I settle the account for him and you stop filibustering and tell me what I want to know.
I suppose that would be all right.
How much is it?
Before he vanished, I paid him in advance for 5 heirs.
All right, done. When I bring them to you, you'll tell me what I want to know.
Deal.
I don't give a damn what deals you've been doing together. I won't tell anyone, but I urgently need to know where Riki is.
What have our deals got to do with where he disappeared to?
More than you think. It's quite possible Riki is hiding out at his poaching lair. And believe me, it wasn't hard to find out who was buying game from him. And it's even easier to go to the castle and tell them.
I don't like being threatened. And I'm telling you for the last time, I don't know where he is.
Your establishment looks a bit run down, innkeeper. The walls could use a coat of whitewash, and the roof looks neglected too.
I suppose so. But what's that got to do with anything?
Just that you could maybe use a little extra money.
Ah, now we're getting somewhere. But how much do you think it will cost to fix the place up a bit? That ought to do it. All right. What do you want to know about Riki? Fine. Let's get to the point then.
See now. Where there's a will, there's a way.
I did some deals with Riki, but I swear to God I don't know where he is.
I hear Hinek has a hideout in the woods he uses for hunting game. Do you know where it is?
I don't know exactly. That is, I don't know where it is at all.
But?
What I happen to know, it's a dark place, a cave or an old mine shaft.
How do you know?
Whenever Riki was going poaching, he always came to me first for candles and lamp oil. He brought the game skinned and gutted, so he had to have light for that.
And do you know the whereabouts of some mine shaft in the area?
I don't know, but a few months ago the quarrymaster Sir Rupert was complaining over his ale here that Lord Divish had saddled him with a hell of a job. He had to check out all the old mine shafts in the area to see what state they were in.
I'll try asking him then. Thanks.
You're welcome.
How much game did he bring you?
Not much. A few pieces. There's no great demand here. Sometimes the gentry has something, otherwise it ends up in sausages.